I am Ann-Peggy Divine. Welcome to the Divine Design, the podcast where we unfold heaven on earth and reframe spirituality and theology for a new cosmic era. Your journey on human evolution and integration of your divine design starts here. Welcome, Alet, Santman from the Netherlands.
Thank you.
It's so
Thank
nice.
you for having me.
Yeah.
Very curious how this is going.
Yes, and this is almost the first time. We met in a group conversation yesterday, and we said, will we go for a podcast? So we are just lining up, kind of. And you have just been into Gambia. So I asked you if the team could be seeing two different perspectives, two different nations, and to take a little higher view kind of than just our country, but expand the perspective and you can show some of your life and experiencing traveling.
I would love that. It was a very interesting and not always easy journey with a lot of love, but also a lot of confusion. So I would love to dive deeper into this. Perfect.
Yes, and when we just lined up, you actually started to show me two picture, and it's like, wow, I love the picture you drew. And you said that you drew it when the COVID came in and you were in a high state, and you said, I'm not in a high state now, I'm in a between. So that's interesting in itself. So maybe you can say something about that.
To me, when you are in a high state, that's when the body is really in a natural state of consciousness. So the body is also as a conduit being present from this high frequency states. Then I really feel like a tuning fork to the universal states of consciousness. And I feel like I'm walking around like a tone and a tune, a song of the universe. And then more often than not, other people also open up into the song of the universe. And I have wonderful meetups with sometimes here and now hiccup. And so now I'm in between of these states. I also feel there's a lot happening about coming home to earth and a lot shaking up, not only for me, but we can see this in all the world. And this keeps me sometimes feeling like a broken broken tuning fork. I know I'm not that, but there is this feeling, and in a deep love and compassion for all the confused states that are coming up out of my body, but also out of the bodies of people around. So I'm in between this deep compassion, but I can also sometimes the desperation of others or maybe myself, I cannot always make the difference, can also be very overwhelming. So this is where I'm now. Also the violence that I feel, and the violence for me is more about this little misinterpretation that we just had about the timing of the 10 minutes, you sending it at 13:50, me getting it at 13:55. It's a little thing,
Yeah.
But it's just confusion. That's all, And I think sometimes with habits, it's also you can express your love through different religions or without a religion or science or whatever. It's still love. Yeah. But before we know it, instead of love, it's getting a polarization and a conflict. And we are not able to tap into the heart to let this love of all these different perspectives melt together. So for me, I'm in between this. Yeah, if that makes sense to you, how do you feel about these things? Is this?
Yeah, I don't use the same vocabulary as you, as being in the between. When my body kind of need to rest, it's like, okay, I just need to rest. The body kind of speak its language, and I'm obey it kind of because it is wiser than me. It's like, okay, it is maybe the same as you say, I'm in the between, and I talk about it. Well, the body says that this is not like or so it is me, the body language that I attune to.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's maybe a very beautiful come together then. Yay. I always, when I woke up, I was much more with my knowingness, though I've been a shiatsu teacher for 15 years, but I was very much more with my knowingness from the spirit realms, more than with the bodily knowingness. At the same time, from this spirit place of being present, I could listen to the bodies and where they were showing that they wanted to come in alignment as well with the spirits or with the universal. You have so many different words. At
Yes.
that
Yes.
time, I called it soul. So that's what I was playing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that we are actually going into this small detail of language differences, perspective, using, talking about the same, using different languages.
Yeah, I think that's very beautiful. I think if we really allow ourselves to do this from a place of love, um, the golden threads of consciousness becoming more strong between heaven and earth. I don't like that so much, but it's presented to be telling like this. And then these golden threads coming more strong. So we get to understand each other from the golden heart, the womb space showing up a lot for me also recently. So yeah, we get to understand each other and from a deeper place from love.
Yeah, yeah. And you said that when COVID came, you actually didn't notice kind of COVID because you was in a high state. And then you showed me the two of the picture you drew when you were in this high state. So maybe if you share it, maybe we get to know you in another way, just you showing the picture.
Uh-huh. It's funny because I feel we are now again in a kind of wave, not like COVID, but in a kind of big cleansing wave again. I
I
think
agree.
for me, there's a lot of high consciousness hitting the earth and stirring up very deep old programming internally and externally, and it can be a little bit challenging here and there. At least I experience it like that. At that time, I didn't experience it so much as challenging. I can show you a little bit also the
Yeah, the
underneath
DNA
is
strength.
the this was it that I saw so often from the DNA, the rainbow DNA, the rainbow serpent. Here is a key, that's the key of Lyra and Vega. So I was very much, and here's the central sun. So really that it's been, I was in a super high frequency where I understood myself as a universal consciousness throughout the physical body, much more than anything else. And I felt I could feel and see just the environment changing when I was around into a higher frequency. Um, so for me, it was no COVID, but there was the homecoming of the golden child consciousness, and that was for me a very different place.
Yes.
So the body could release the most old memories of being born in this physical body. We had the capacity to release it because all the keys were downloaded.
Yes.
And you have seen it brought us into COVID and people taking it very serious and fighting, etc., etc. So for me, it feels like this consciousness coming in,
Yeah.
and then we have to be very much aware of the consciousness coming in. So taking more time with yourself for things that are showing up, or with people in little groups to come together to assist each other with cleansing up and out and embodying and stabilizing this uh, this consciousness, if you will.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the other one, and that was funny because we met yesterday in a beautiful call of Colin. The other one is
The single eye, the one
This is
eye.
again the rainbow. You cannot. Yeah, and but this is very much about the heart and the tunes and the frequencies and the cosmos. And also here we have the rainbow colors coming in, the rainbow frequencies coming into the heart, and then the heart's eye can open up.
Yeah, and also the
But
Ubuntu
like
philosophy, I
it's
see.
just
Yes.
yeah, it's like seeing everything from the heart's eye upon earth. And just this morning I was reading a post of the cosmic beings that have been also being disconnected from earth somehow, and I felt like, wow, this heart's eye, because there were three people talking about the eye, and that was fascinating to me. I was not connecting with it, but I immediately had to think about this painting, that it was connected. And now that we meet, I feel like it's really the eye coming back to the eye resting in the heart,
Yes.
no longer to scan around for safety, but from the heart to bring all the colors back to life upon earth. And this feels for me like the second period, and you were talking about yeah, it's the second wave.
Yeah, I see it
You
also
were
as a
talking
second.
about
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and
you were
what
talking about all the different people and perspectives. I feel like now the eye is coming back to the heart,
yeah.
so we can embody really all the colors of the existence back into the earth life, and release all violence against life itself.
Yeah.
So at the same time, there's a lot of violence that we are witnessing around us. So yeah,
Yes, and that's what I have
that's
done this week, and also with a lot of women, kind of initiated them and having a ceremony, a retreat that we really stepping up to see through this one eye. So when we met yesterday in Colin's group, this was what I saw, the one eye, and you had painted this. So we were several seeing this one eye, because what kind of is the solution? Because also when I had this ceremony retreat with women, um, lot of the old came up, so a lot of darkness came up. So it is, we know what we have created on earth, and we need to release it. So, and when we have released it, then the one eye through the heart, kind of, this is the place we live from.
and to me, I'm interested in for yourself. I understand what you're saying, but by the release is how what is your tool to help people or yourself release? Because for me, it's about polarizations, and we're staying in a polarized state, or when we move into a polarized state, we are out of attunement with the universe. And that's my language. And I always try to see if I can set the polarization outside of myself and let it be dissolved. But sometimes it's getting overwhelming somehow. I wonder how you see this, or how you should express it. I'm
Okay,
just seeing one or two of your YouTubes just to connect a little bit with you before we were meeting up. But
okay, I can take one example. Um, most of the thing that came up that we worked with was ancestral stuff, because we are programmed in ways to think and ways to do things. So what we released was what our great grandmother, great hundreds years from, it's like almost like the Yante law, the law of Yante, or the way that our ancestor taught and the way they did it. So we inherit patterns from our ancestors. So when I talk about this, it's like releasing the ancestor stuff so that it's easier to see to the single eyes. So that's what we did. I work with the energy actually a couple of months before we meeting in physical, and worked with their energy. And I also had several ceremony when I went into their energy field and worked. And just 4 days before, I had a deep moon ceremony, really going into the shadow side. And it's like, oh, it was, I feel it on my body. So I kind of puke, not puke physical, it's like energetically to, release it, help releasing it, and also healing it. So I do it my way. I know that there are so many ways to do it, and then
I understand.
yeah. So when I say release, so it is mostly ancestor patterns. That's what we are releasing. It's like going into this pattern and going in repetition because yeah, we are in work, we are in family, and doing what our mother and father did, grandfather, and yeah. So hacking out of this loop. So that's the releasing kind of, and also the most significant is to feel the emotion that our ancestor felt, because it is a lot of information there also. So that's what I have done now for months, going into this emotion, and it is contraction emotion. So it was violence, it was a lot of hatred, and poverty, so much poverty. So we have released a lot of poverty and violence, rape, and hatred. So a lot of this shame that makes us feel ashamed and feel less than. So this is what we have released. And we had ceremony, we had fire ceremony and we had earth ceremony. So we did, and also water ceremony. So they could choose where they want to put their stuff from ancestor, kind of. So if they wanted to into the fire, because we have the four element, there was the fire and the air, and next to it we had kind of, we could take it into the Mother Earth. I have digged a deep hole in Mother Earth, and they took it into this, or they could throw it into the water. So they felt what was right for them, but they had different options. So this ceremony lasted for a couple of hours only, but what we had done several months in front of this, and also what I have sent them now, is reflection and going inwards to kind of integrate it. So we can think, oh, the sermon is finished, we are finished. No, the real work start, because now we are integrating this newness that we have felt said yes to, kind of the next, I call it the next step divinity. So they have said yes to the next step divinity of them, next step expansion.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's very beautiful. When you're talking, I like sometimes to ask questions back, because when you're talking, for me the two consciousnesses are starting to work together, to dance together.
Yeah.
I have like this, and then for me it's showing up a lot. Also, the dragon fire, or the fire dragon, and the solar consciousness. To me, it also feels like, in this period of time, the central sun consciousness wants really to be re-embodied somehow, so we can come from our uniqueness without it any longer being a problem for the community, and the other way around, so that there is a unique universalness and a community building at the same time, whereas our ancestors, not per se, but it has been taught very much that we all have to be the same somehow.
Yeah.
And yeah. And I just came from Gambia, where there is still very much, in the whole of Africa, there's this system of the elders. And I feel on one side the beautifulness, on the other side, for me personally, I always feel, I think I'm a little bit autistic as well. So I don't want to be touched so much by having to do it in a way that doesn't feel right for me internally.
Yeah.
So sometimes I get easily in a fight where it's not so much of a problem, we just have different systems. That's an old wiring of my nervous system. So that was one reason why it was intense. And
it was, well, can I ask deeper? Can I ask deeper? You said it was intense because you had to kind of obey the elders, or the elders was kind of the holder of what was allowed.
they've been teach very much the Ubuntu, though it was Gambia. Ubuntu is from another country. And now again, I see the fire, because the fire wants to be born, the fire, the passion, the fire, I don't know, the centrals, I don't know, something with fire wants to be born, and it's very strong present in Africa for some reason. This is what I felt. What was you asking about the elders? Yes, to me, when I started to wake up, I was seeing I had a very strong relationship with a past life. I wanted to leave the planet because I had enough.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to, etc. And I felt so much different from all the people around me, so I really didn't know how to relate. And I was also tremendously fearful for intimate relationships and love. And then a past life was showing up so strongly, and it was a past life of a Native American woman. And I was in this past life a midwife. And I always felt myself also in this life like a midwife of a consciousness, birthing new consciousness.
Yes.
And the new consciousness being birthed, the old has to die off. Not a big problem if we do not identify with it, and we can evolve and we can integrate the different states into a new beautiful coming together. So from this past life, I was seeing how much they were very connected with the Pleiadians still, how much we were singing a young one. We were, whenever there was to be birthed, whenever they wanted to have a child, because the tribe was not complete, because there was love and they wanted to be born up, because the tribe was not complete, they will ask and they will sing, and they will also see what do we need in the tribe to be complete again, also about skills. And so it was a very elaborate system, very sophisticated. So me, I've always been angry with people that say that they were so primitive, you know. It was very it's a very sophisticated system with the singing and the calling somebody forward, the connections with the Pleiadians, and also the taking care of the earth was very, the understanding how it worked together, all the different living systems. So I call that sophisticated towards where we as a modern are now.
Wow.
So
Can I ask you a question? Did they call forth souls that had gift they needed though? So because you can call for, so wow, because yeah, because this year 2025 I have downloaded a lot of the new systems and a lot of lullabies, and Heather, the feminine energy had come through, and how we will do it in the future. And actually Africa holds a key there, because they, some of the systems already holding pieces of it.
yes, they have, yes, so there is some, yes, this was, by the way, Native American. So, but yes, they do. And it was on this level that from, I don't know how you want to say it, it was on this level that I connected, on the level with the people. But in the day-to-day, it's not always there. So in the Native American, also the young ones, they are very much honored for who they are. So they see who you are,
Yeah.
and they invite you for your skill. Like where the community where I was, everybody is a farmer. And if you don't want to become a farmer, it's a little bit of a problem.
Oh,
You know, this
yeah,
is
yeah.
so yeah. So it was a bit in Africa, they still, at least where I was, let's make it about Gambia, because there I was there, and I had there the physical experience and my own physical awareness, which is
Yes.
also with some glass on, but that's where I've been. And I feel there's a very maybe there's a strong fire in the womb or something. I always feel they're very connected with the animal aspect of our physical body. There's a, where as the West we have a difficulty to be present with it. That's a very big strength.
Yeah.
At the same time, I feel there's such a big honor for the elders, to me, with this a very strong experience of the Native American woman that has been through my blood for a long time. Also, when I was touching people, I could really see on cellular level why they could not have a child, or if they wanted or not, etc. And I have had myself a lot of stories around the womb, like a lot, very much. And maybe it's also about the womb of creation that wants to come forward again and be understood how we are coming into creation. But for them, they are very easily present in the physical day-to-day as a honoring of the day-to-day in a very different way, in a very rich way. At the same time, there's many overlayerings that present as well. So that was, to me, because it's not a ceremony, it's day-to-day life. To me, that's not exactly the same. I mean, my life is I do my best to have my life 24/7 a ceremonialness or a vividness. I prefer to call it a vividness, honoring the life. And where I was first really honoring universal states of consciousness, the last 2 years, it's really about the life force or something. And life force, that's Africa or something. For me, everybody has also the different journeys. So yeah.
So they live from the sacred space, kind of the what we create in ceremony. They live from it in everyday life. So, and also when you live in it, everything has meaning. So when growing up and when you are an elder, you have a meaning. You are a resource for your community, and then you don't go into depression and a lot of the sickness, because a lot of the sickness has to do with this life is meaningless, kind of. So what you are saying about Africa, and they don't need ceremony because they live in ceremony 24/7.
I was talking about myself living in this ceremony 24/7, but they are living 24/7. They are present with where they are. They're very much present where they are.
Yeah.
And they're very direct about their emotions, and but it's very, for a Dutch reserved culture, still I felt how much reserved I was. Like, whoa, it's very overwhelming sometimes. Whoa. But it's also very strong presence of where they want to go. But they live very much in this elder system, and as far as I experience, there's also this giving the power away to the elder and giving the power away to the God. And where we are super individual and having too much of a difficulty to be in a togetherness, that's very beautiful there, really strong. I love it. But they also, this is how I can say, they also give their power away to the elders, from my perspective. And that's my perspective. So because maybe I don't see it right at all. So this is well, yeah. And to me, I felt there was layers of religion and layers of some other things over a very much older wisdom. And there's a like in the Netherlands, we have this contrast between religion and science. We had this religion against science kind of stuff. To me, I felt they had something with religion and their Bushman qualities, and still also the colonization of somebody's coming and bringing us a gift, something, and then we move on, And at the same time, I feel there's so much more knowingness that wants to be just enjoyed, and it's very enjoyable community to be in a day-to-day life. So with a lot of laughter and with a lot of enjoyment. It's very simple, present being. Yeah. Does it make sense? But in the other way, I don't know. I have a question for you, because this one was also about the heart connecting to the earth again. And when I went to the Gambia, it was very much shared that also there, but all over the world for the last 3 years, so much about nature want to be heard again, want to be listened to, the body as well, but nature.
Yep.
And uh, and really how they want to be taken care of in order for them to take care of humanity, so we can step into our true creativity, our original creativity, which is nothing to do with how it looks now, but this been shown a lot also to me. Do you have anything about this, or is
I
there anything interesting?
I love that you bring up this because when I said to you, I listen to my body. I have connected my body to Mother Earth body. So when Mother Earth body kind of go through things, I feel it. So I used to go out, lay out, and I kind of connect to Mother Earth's heart. So my body, yes, I have an individual field, but I'm also connected to Mother Earth because the biggest healer of all is Mother Earth in direct communion with universe and the light spark of us. So when you said that they listen more to nature, yes, I listen to nature through my body because nature use polarity. So if you see nature it is, we see it as a polarity, but it is not polarity, but we experience it as polarity. We call it light or dark or hot or warm. So me adjusting to my body is the same as adjusting to Mother Earth. So that's the, so we are talking about different perspective, yes, and the perspective you said, the Gambia, we need to listen more to Mother Earth. I so agree. And we can do it through our body, but also I lay down and I speak to trees, I speak to animals, I speak to everything because we are in relationship with everything kind of. But yeah, it is the biggest healer when if I'm exhausted and if it's a lot, I just go into the wood, and if I do drain kind of, I just lay down. But it's a lot of years since I have been totally exhausted. But earlier when I was not aligned kind of, I just went into the nature and just lay down. It's like, Mother Earth, heal me, let me come in balance, back to the balance points kind of. So the one eye, actually coming back to the one eye.
It's interesting because for me, I also see the pineal gland if you talk about the one eye. Also, funnily enough, I've been in Egypt and there was this Horus, Eye of Horus, and this kind of things. And I felt so much also, that's also an eye. I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
like there is something, yeah, solar, a solar body, something golden consciousness, solar body, and something earthly that really is realigning for us to come together in a very much different way,
Yeah. Yeah.
to be present in the beauty of all these things, and
Yes.
me myself, I have always difficulty to take care of the physical, and I'm very very etherical, so whenever the physical is a bit like I don't want to take care anymore, so I really always have to take care of this taking care. And this is maybe also what I see in the Gambia. They really very easily taking care of their day-to-day. I cannot explain, somehow I mean, I don't know how you've been raised, but we have been raised with a lot of images of Africa that has nothing to do with how they live and who they are at all. So but what I see in the day-to-day is that they are somehow just present just present in their day,
Yeah.
not tomorrow, not yesterday, but today.
Yeah.
um, Very different concept of time and so many other things. And yeah,
Maybe they don't see
yeah,
time as
very
linear
different.
because it's kind of the Western way of seeing life as linear. So they maybe see life as, yeah, in spiral.
Yeah, I see. Maybe if you say like this, I see nearly also, and then I get another understanding of what they mean by elders. I see like the elders being the outer round of the skirt, and there's like a tree, you know, all these years of the rings. I
Yeah,
see it.
perfect.
I see seriously as like this, and they see there's a circle, and the elders are in the outer circle. At the
Wow.
same time, yeah, it's very, yeah.
So they are the
At the
holders.
same time,
Yeah.
yes. And I've had so much difficulty with ancestors, to be honest, because I'm more on your track of the ancestors having lived their emotions,
Yeah.
and you still dealing their stuck emotions, you know. Also, maybe because they are less present. Yeah, this is just
Yeah.
a very different paradigm they live.
Yes, and
And
I love
yeah,
what.
I can see it. It's very strong. It's a very strong image. It's
Wow.
nearly as the rings of the tree, and there's more to it because I was also learning Madinga, that is the language, and it's not. Yeah, we all know that language is not only language, but there's also the cultural and the philosophy and
Yep.
how we are able to perceive and express. So the mother of the it's my ex-family where I went because I was together with a Gambian here. So I I also met the mother, and she is seeing me as her mom, and they do this often. So there's something that they understand, that it's a continuity as well,
Yes.
with this naming. It's very deep,
Yeah.
and although they don't have words for it, they do live it somehow. So their perception of how relationship is and these kind of things is very much different. So often, somebody, when you give birth to the children, some of your children you're going to call mom and dad. So you're going to call your as a nickname, and everybody calls them like this, mom or ba. So the youngest one, often the youngest one, as far as I've been seeing, is called mom or ba. Well, they're the youngest, but there is, I don't know, there is this understanding of a very different time.
The eternity of life, and wow, I love what you are sharing, Alet, because I speak a lot of the same, because my children, I have lived with them in different relationship. My daughter have been my wife, my son have been my father, we have been brothers, sisters. So yes, and they live with that. So for a lot of Westerners like me and you, we 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 haven't been brought up with this philosophy. So when I came to my balance point, this was kind of shown me, and I was in past life and now future life, and I saw my daughter and son in different lives. Like, wow, all this interconnectedness and choosing each other from life to life with different roles, and they live it, and it's, I love it. I love what you are telling, and I could tell my daughter, oh, my wife, because she has been my wife, kind of. So, so
No,
they
I get it. I
are
get
living.
it. For me, that's very normal. But now I'm not so. But when I woke up, I could only see everyone. Yeah, funny, yeah.
Yeah, and if we live with that
Yeah,
conscious,
we had to. Sorry, go ahead.
I just want, if we live with that consciousness and not knew that it is all one mind, kind of just expressing to different bodies, we wouldn't fight other countries and fight against each other, because it is our brothers and sisters. So it's like, when this understanding, this wisdom, because this is wisdom, they know that they have lived many lives, they are in connection with the bigness of us. The way I see it, the way you talk about it, it's like, wow, that is what I have seen as one of the vision for the future human, going back to this wisdom.
I think this is, yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, this I still see this image.
Yeah, the
I still
circle.
see this image, and then yeah, and yeah. I don't, yeah, I don't know if I wish to see a fire in the middle or something. There's something that I cannot see or a crystal, whatever, but I still see this image. Yeah, it's, yeah, and they are aware of it. They know it. They
Yeah.
know it. And somehow they never have given this fully up or something. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
When you talk about the fire in the middle, I see also the circle and the fire in the middle, but I see the fire in the middle as a heart. I don't know why, because it's like I tuned into you, and when you see the fire, I see it kind of through a heart. It's like the one heart, the one eye heart, fire in the middle.
Yes. Yes. Yes, correct. Yes. Maybe even also some kind of a central sun consciousness that is connecting anyone and all, you know?
Yes,
I can
yes,
see that as well.
yes.
I can see that as well.
So we are seeing the
Yeah.
same with my. I see it with my eyes, you with your, and we are seeing the same, and we use different words. We try to kind of. So this is what we're talking about, trying um, to find words on the same experience, kind of, or seeing, because we are seeing the same, but with different perspective, kind of.
Yeah, I like that because if we are open-minded, so everything can be there without a judgment upon myself or the other, then if you see differently, it's enriching. It's not separating, but it's adding to the vividness of this understanding that time, linear time, it's even mathematically untrue, of course. But
Yeah,
we in the Western society, we've been totally yeah, being raised with it, also with the past and the future. They don't do so much past and future at all. At the same time, they have a strong memory of what happened, but it's not like the past and they are. I come from a family with a lot of linear time and a lot of regret. So for me to release regret, like, oh, I haven't done this, and otherwise I've been there, blah blah blah, and that's a little bit more strong in my family maybe than other families, but it's also some cultural thing of in a different way.
yeah.
They can start every day again anew in trying their luck, so to say, or I. It's very difficult to put it in words. I cannot.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and it's like, yeah, we do it in a ceremony. We because we are so, it is so, because we have moved so far away from the natural, kind of. They are living the natural in a bigger way. So we trying to reach this natural kind of being in everyday life. We do it in ceremony, but it will be even more beneficial if we live it 24/7. And I live it 24/7 being in this place called Lingen. But when I drive from Lingen, then I feel that I go into the Western lifestyle, because when I am in Lingen, I follow the divine rhythm and I sleep whenever I want, and I have some alarm because I have some appointment and so I'm here, I'm doing it 24/7 being in Lingen. But when I travel back to Tromsø, then I have to adjust to the Western way of doing it, going in and out of system and so on. So it's like you said, I feel that I am in the middle. Yes, in the middle of something, and I am in the middle of my natural rhythm and adjusting to the Western rhythm.
Yeah, I get that very well. I get it very well. Yeah. I just went to Romania before I went to Gambia, and when I stepped into the airplane, literally my inner voice was saying, "You're stepping off the matrix into the mystical, into the mysticalness." And I felt really as this, the nature there was very strong, and I was just living, yeah, what you are living, very nice in day to day,
Yeah.
and I really loved it. For me in the Gambia was and somewhere my voice wanted to say you're going home, but I could not hear it. I still have difficulty to hear it. There's something home there for me, which is very deep, but it's also very scary to let it come home somehow. I don't know. Also because there's a big life force present there, a very big life force. They still very much connected with the life force somehow. I cannot. It's so difficult to express
Yeah, but they live in the nature. They know that we are nature, so they are living in the life force, because we kind of measure life force with bovis, and because we are so separated from life force. But if we live in the woods and live in natural environment, we are life force.
Yes, that's very literal. Like I was also there in the raining time, and it was like raining. And the houses are very simple. I'm totally fine with it. I'm also a lot in nature, but here I was really, my Western mind came up. Like also they are cooking in the rain. It's super intense, and the fire is when the rain is there so much. The wood is wet, and the fire. It's very like I have very much difficulty to accept, and I saw for them it was fine, for them, but to me it felt like rough, and I missed the elegance. I also felt started to judge, and that was more about me than about them. But anyways, it was very difficult to stop this. So all of a sudden, instead of feeling this deep love and this deep connection with the solar body of the earth, now I'm there. Instead of feeling this and staying in this connection, I was moving into a judgment and this savior complex,
Yeah, I know. I
So
think
I
most
could
of us,
move.
yeah.
Thank you for this conversation, because now I feel I can move out of it. So because yeah, somehow they are connected to the solar body, into inner earth, where you're connected. This is how I feel now. It's only words, and everybody, like 3 of you saw the eyes yesterday, which was bringing something up. I can, yeah, with this golden child, the solar consciousness, I'm, without knowing, I was playing a long time already with this somehow. And yeah, they have stayed connected to the solar consciousness within the earth somehow, which is very passionate, very physically connected to all that is. They are much more physically connected to all that is than we. Something like this, does that make sense?
Yeah, I use another
And
term again. Yeah, what you call the golden what you call the golden child, I use the term homoluminous, because from the golden child we are kind of living as homoluminous, as because the goldenness or the light of us is kind of, we are light beings. So some call it new human, and you use the term golden children, and it's like it is so many different terms about the same. So I have started to use the term homoluminous. Yeah. So I love it, but to see it, okay, we are talking about the same. First, it starts with golden children, because we come and we are golden children and we live as homoluminous, and then we are connection with Mother Earth, with nature, with animals, with universe, with everything, with our divine rhythm.
For me, it's also really, I don't know if you play there as well. For me, it's also really about ignition and activation. Like when you have this download, when this past life came through me from this Native American, I was also confused because I was nearly living her life. But I was like, that's also weird, that life I already lived. I'm now Alet Santman. So I was also really confused, and I had not a lot of people to talk with because of, yeah. And I was really confused, like, okay. But at the same time, it was a lot of teaching in it to see how, like, my hands were like Röntgen, even more precise, a million times, a trillion times more precise. And I just tell this because I'm not the only one who has these abilities. And we have been denying ourselves these abilities. and or other people are denying us these abilities, or both. And by denying them, it's difficult to let them come home to the physical and to really go into this, what is happening now upon Earth, this ignition and activation of this deep-seated knowingness that wants to come back to life, like the universal ecstasy. It's also only words, but it wants to come back to life.
Yep.
And in order to come back to life, it needs also ignition. But when it's ignited, all these layers of dust, and this is what I felt. I felt like a tremendous violence, and I really had difficulty to release and not to judge it, but to watch it and to see it or to embrace it or whatever, and not to make it about somebody else, also not to make it about yourself, to both of these things, to not go there, which is a journey in itself. And I can speak so freely because I'm sure you made it as well. Otherwise, we could not speak out so clearly. So that is, now I see this violence is much so more about misunderstandings, very simple misunderstandings, and we create a whole system upon it. We call it science, or we call it hospital, and fear of bacteria, blah blah blah.
Yep.
And then the original, and to fight, blah blah blah, and we start again. So really to release and ignite and activate the wholeness, the whatever, however we call it, or our journey to go home to this place.
Yep.
And
Yeah, and I love what you are speaking about, Alet, because you said, I don't know if this is my life or it was the last life, because this has also been my experience. A lot of what happened when I was in Guatemala, I was a man, but I'm doing the same in this life as a woman. And my wife in that life is the daughter in this life, and we are both doing the same, but now we are both feminine. I was a man and she was a woman, and she is still in her initiation period, because she has had she is in recovery. She have a brain tumor, and the doctor haven't given her very good prognosis, but I know that this is her initiation. It is hard on her because she's really sick, but if we see it from another perspective, this is also an initiation and going beyond the programming. So she is, when she is finished this, she will stand even more strong in her wisdom, in her remembrance of, in her totality, wholeness, whatever we call it. So yeah, so I'm sure that she also will remember more of her past life and what she have chosen when she have gone through this initiation. Because me being in the dark night of the soul for 6 years, what happened this 6 year, I had a lot of past life coming through me, and I release. So it was, as you say, an activation and rebirth. So we use several words, but we are speaking about the same.
Yes, I get that. I don't mind using different words, because we have our own journeys, and it's also beautiful to have all these different words.
Yeah.
So I knew when I was super high frequency, then that also was new language. I felt also, and I feel also, this ignition and activation of these high frequencies is awesome, because when we have these new words birthed, it's also a direction in the day-to-day to move towards this understanding of us being this magnificent beings, like for me in Africa, being so, the word for me now is preoccupied with the elders, but that is my perspective. It's some of my layers still there, but I'm using it like this, which I found sometimes hard, because I felt our own unique expression could not find a place. But there was also maybe because there was a misunderstanding. And now that I'm talking about it, it was the same misunderstanding like we had about the time, a tiny misunderstanding that starts to build up. And then making unnecessary problems because you don't know how to address it, and you start because you have this one and the other one has this one.
Yeah.
But both of you feel so deeply present in something that wants to come forward by the dance that you have together. It was really an intense journey somehow. So I'm wondering about you. How do you go with that? You know that this is an initiation for your daughter, for example, that you know that's an initiation. How do you, how in it like on a personal level, how do you relate with these in the day to day or some? Do you understand my question?
Yeah, I understand your question, and thank you for asking. And her brother, her oldest brother, committed suicide 10 years ago. He had been to hospital. He had cancer. He was in an accident. He had a lot of health challenges, and he committed suicide. But before he committed suicide, I was kind of in panic because all of the sickness he had. Yeah, having cancer, and they said he will die, but he survived cancer, but in the end he committed suicide when he was 22. So I was very worried all the time. I nearly didn't sleep because I was worried. Now that my daughter is going through kind of the same, let's put it kind of the same, because the doctor has said this is kind of a deadly disease, even though, yeah. So, but me connecting to her soul and see it from a higher level, I am not afraid at all. I am in peace, and I see this as a gift, and it is a complete different perspective seeing this as a gift than seeing it with the eyes of the death. So I saw what happened to my oldest son as the eyes from survival, programming. I was exhausted. I was hysteric. I was kind of a hysteric mother, like the Western way tell us to be, kind of, because the doctor also said that he will die when he had cancer, and now when she have this initiation, I see it differently, and I know that, oh, this is the structure that she will gain her power back. She will stand in her truth. It is her being the onion and taking away layer from this onion, so she become more and more pure, because she has also been raised through the Western culture that is not in balance at all. It is totally unbalanced. So living from this, it is with ease, and also
fear instead of in life. Maybe that's the biggest difference I experience in Africa. It's based in fear and not in life. I mean, for the rest, I saw the same. Yeah, it's out, and I thought it was in my family, but then I got aware that it was much bigger, and people prefer to deny it, and out of fear prefer to give it to somebody else, like, okay, you have problems with me, I'm fine thing. It's interesting.
yeah. And another aspect about my daughter, she wants to do it her way. As a mother, you want to interfere and say you have to do this, you have to do that. She have said I will do it my way. So even though I think I want her to do other steps, she said no, this is I do it my way. So I have tried to interfere sometimes, but then she said no. So she is walking her path, kind of. So she actually, it is just a week or two since she allowed me to come with some helpers, and we went to Tromsø hospital because she live in Bergen, and the doctors there have done a lot of not very good things, because they are in crisis. Bergen is the city in Norway that have the biggest crisis in doctors. So we took her to Tromsø, and she said, okay, now you can help me, mother. And then we went to another doctor, and also a natural doctor, kind of scanning her body with energy medicine. And the 2 days that I was with her, that was an activation, because her spiral, since she got this tumor, has gone downwards, 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 downwards. And then she hit rock bottom and said, Mother, no, it's okay. And now it's going upwards, upwards, but it's just beginning the upwards. But now I know that she is going the upward spiral, and she will gain more and more and more of her strength and owning her own power, knowing who she is.
Yeah, I get a lot of light language.
Yep.
When you are sharing this. It's also really about not only understanding about who we are, but understanding about how we can embody, how we can live it through the body. I have to say, I have not the right to say how to embody,
Yeah, do you
because
have
sometimes language is that precise, and even if we have all different languages, it is still perfect that you have your language and me mine or something. But to address for her, not about how to embody, but how to live through the body. Really like, yeah.
it is interesting because I use the light language every day and it informs me, and you have your light language and I have mine, and it's several years since I started to speak light languages, and my daughters and husbands like, what are you saying? Is your own language? But when you are in your core, the light language come natural because this is the home language, and we understand through it. Yeah, so I understand a lot of when I ask through the light language, and I get answer through the light language. So yeah.
That's interesting, huh? I can now feel the seriousness also coming through very strongly. It's really, yeah, it's really on the deepest level not to buy into the system that is teaching something different about what illness would be. And in this case, the illness is just, yeah, a mismatch between who you are and what other people try you to
Yes.
tell you how you have to behave and who you be, can be, it's very deep, it's very
It's very, yeah, it is. And even me as a mother, she needed to kind of, no, yes, you are my mother, but because she's now 25, and I needed to do it my way, even not though you are my mother. So it's kind of, it is her initiation path, and since she had it when she was 24, she want to do it her way, in her rhythm, and all what she kind of said yes to do, the soul plan for her.
I also feel because when we met yesterday in this meetup with Colin, you were saying about allowing with this other woman, and I felt there was something else that I am having the most difficulty to fully integrate myself. This is allowing is about not judging, but also understanding where somebody is coming from our knowingness, our heart, understanding where somebody is coming from, and knowing how to address it. So that's an other place. I know, I remember when I started with shiatsu, after half a year I was not doing shiatsu anymore. It was for me just a possibility for my higher self to connect back into my life.
Ah,
And whenever I did it, I was always asking the spirit, higher selves, to communicate through my hands, and whatever wants to be dissolved, to be dissolved. I was saying it in a different way at that very time, but in a very simple way. I could feel it, and I could also ask, do I need to tell it? Is it an extra to tell, or can I better don't tell? Because sometimes if you tell, another interference is coming in.
yeah.
And how good I could like handle and play with it as a shiatsu therapist, I could not I could not like transmute this system over into my intimate relationships. That was like in day-to-day conversations, like how to address things. And I remember that people, when I started to do kickboxing, I really loved it. It's kind of a game where we are where deciding that we enjoy this game. I really loved it. It was a beautiful teacher, very nice, and everybody like in my environment is so aggressive, blah blah blah. And I felt like, wow, man, the fuck, you were aggressive the whole day with your words and your energy. It was so aggressive, but I didn't understand how to address it if somebody else not feeling it, or now I'm moving into, this is the in-between state where I'm still, if I'm there, it doesn't feel nice. But if I'm in my universal states of consciousness, I'm aware of this energy coming, and it just passes through me. And instead of, and either somebody is leaving the room because they don't want to be with me and I'm fine with it, I have nothing about it, or some things start to activate and they enjoy being around me and I enjoy their company as well, no matter where they're at. And then we can address the things or we don't address it. But yeah, I think this was the most difficult thing within my life. I think my parents were so not present for themselves that we never could have like interesting conversation about how to make a life beautiful. You know.
Yeah. I think that most people can relate to that. Because the parents haven't been.
Yeah. And I really would love to see how we can change this for ourselves and the next generations as well, because it's such a bliss to be on the earth as well at the same time, and to really be able to experience the bliss, even the bliss of the gift of materializing an illness.
Yeah. Yeah, and as you showed us, the golden child is already born. So yes, we are in kind of a big shift epoch. So yeah. And I wanted to ask you, because now we have spoken for more than an hour, would you come back on a podcast when you are in your universal consciousness? Because now you say I'm in the middle, so maybe you can contact me when you are in your wee flow. And if you, I'm inviting you, but you are free to say whatever you want. But if you are willing, I would love to have you back from that, and just to see what the conversation then, if it will be a different conversation, because it possibly will be.
Yes, of course, definitely.
So for this, so I just have to say, Alet, thank you so much. I love this conversation with you and different perspective, and we had some. Actually, what happened several times, we misunderstood each other. So the misunderstanding can't, but we kind of solve it through the conversation. So we didn't hang up in this, but we solved it. So we actually showed it in practical how we can do it.
Yeah, that's beautiful, isn't it? I really liked that. I really like that, to allow this also to be, and to address it and to be dissolved. It's nice, isn't it? Yeah, it was beautiful. Thank you for that one.
Yeah.
Thank you, definitely. Well, thank you so much for your time and your invitation. And I surely see you back at Collins, probably somewhere else. And I wish you so much purity, love, and divinity within your life and outside. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Divine Design podcast with Ann-Peggy Divine. Join us next Sunday for another Heaven on Earth unfolding conversation. With grace, reverence, and unity, may the path of your divine design light the way. From the divine in us to the divine in you.